Hey y'all. So I said last night that I was going to show y'all how I do my simple 3 ingredient chicken broth. So that's what we're going to do today. I cooked this yesterday. I cooked my chicken and I cooked it all in my crock pot. And I even started it late in the day, maybe like around 1 o'clock by like 3 or 4. And I had, I think, about 4 or 5 pounds of chicken in here, and it was just miscut frozen chicken. It was like literally frozen into squares. I put it in my crock pot. I added like two. I was gonna actually show y'all the. Okay, so I added two of these, which would be 48 ounces because this is 24 ounces. I added 48 ounces of water with the like 4.5 pounds of frozen chicken, miscut chicken. Of course, it still had skin and bones in it, and I put it in my crock pot. And in it, because it was frozen, it was like sticking out above it. So I just covered it with foil, kind of propped my lid up on it. But anyway, it cooked. And as it began to cook down, I could like push my lid further down, and so that's what I did. And eventually, I took the foil off of it, and I just watched it cook. And once it was done, it took about 3.5, 4 hours. It was ready for me to take the meat out. So I took out the meat, put it in a bowl, one of my big silver pans, set it to the side, covered it with foil. We went on about our evening. We had our supper and we did all that. And then it was time, by bedtime, it was time. The chicken was cool. So I just picked the chicken apart. I kept the broth cooking while I was doing that. I just kept the broth on low. It was bubbling really good and it cooked. But I picked all the chicken apart and then I took the excess, put it back in my crock pot. I cooked this and I added, I think I added, I can't remember. I either added 3 or 4 more of these 24 fluid ounce size jars of water, and I put that in there, and I put some salt in my chicken, and you know what? So I think it was really I didn't even put pepper in here. I've made some chicken broth where I just take scraps out of the freezer, and I would call that more of a vegetable broth. But I just went ahead last night. I cooked all the meat, all the bones in it, and it was still going good this morning. But I got up, cut it off, and so here's what we have left. So we have this, and I've had it cut off for a little bit so I would be able to handle it a lot better. And I'm going to show you real quick what I'm going to use. So I have my jars over here. Now, obviously, this is not proper canning. I'm not really canning this broth. This broth is going in the refrigerator in these jars, and it will be good Wednesday when I need it. Today is Sunday as I'm filming this. This will stay in the refrigerator closed up, and Wednesday morning I will use it when I'm making my dressing. And if I was going to can it, I would follow the guidelines set by the canning. Is it the USDA? I don't even know because, to be honest with you, I don't can. I have a pressure canner. I do know how to water bath can, but I know that you would need to pressure can this. So I would follow whatever their regulations were if I was going to can it. I freeze my broth. I put it in a Ziploc bag or some kind of container that's freezer safe, and I freeze that. I've never had an issue with it going rancid. It's always been ready to go. You can defrost it, or you don't have to. You can just drop it in a crock pot or a pot and let it melt on its own with a little water. It does fine either way. But today, for the sake of letting you know what I'm doing, I'll just be putting it into jars. If there's anything left, then I'll just put it in a bag and freeze it. And I do let it cool completely before I freeze, or almost completely cool. I sure don't put it in there hot. Don't ever do that. Don't put something hot into your freezer or hot into your refrigerator for that matter. But anyway, so I'll be pouring it into these jars. But before I do that, simple tools. I got this. I don't know if I got this at the Dollar Tree, or I think I got this at the Dollar Tree actually. Just a large sieve. And I got this, like I used to scoop up dumplings and things. So what I'm going to do first And then I'm going to drain it into this pan. I didn't even show you guys that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab another pan to put some of the skin and stuff, and I'm going to actually pull this over here, and you can see I'm just going to scoop out all this stuff, and I'm going to put this here. I'm going to put it over in this pan. Now, I don't have chickens anymore. If I had chickens still, I would probably actually give this to my chickens. But I don't, so I may freeze this and use it the next time I make chicken broth, because I'm not an expert at this, and I like to do things as simple as I can, and I like to use what I have. I don't like to have to go out and buy a bunch of things to make something that the reason you're making it is, number one, it's healthier. You know exactly what's in this. Number two, it's so simple. Like, it's truly simple. But, you know, that's my own reasonings for why I make stuff at home. So I don't want to have to go out. I want to be able to use what I have, and I don't want to have to go out and buy a bunch of extra ingredients. Okay, so here's the tricky part. I'm gonna just, you can see here, I put it in my sink, and I'm propping it up, and I'm gonna pick this up, and I am going to pour this. Again, this isn't hot because I've let it, I mean, it's still warm, but it's manageable, especially if you had like oven mitts. But I'm just gonna slowly pour it in here. And this is a very fine sieve, so it's gonna catch any bits or bones. And that's going to be that. Just going to let that. And of course, you don't want any of that junk going down your drain. So I've just done that. Set it to the side. And I am going to just run it through. I don't see anything else in here that would be bad. It looks like everything's pretty good. So my next step is I'm going to set my jars up. I had rinsed these off really good. I'm just going to set them up and start pouring this in there. This is where probably, actually, to be honest with you, I'm messy. So I'm probably just going to do this in my sink. And you have to, if you're working by yourself, you have to do it slowly. And I like, even though I'm not canning it, I'm still going to leave a little bit of headspace. So I'm also curious to see how much we get. Which every bit of this will be used for my dressing on Wednesday. Because I have a large family who loves to eat my dressing. Whoop. Fill that one up pretty full. Oh man, okay. I think I can go a little bit more in this one. Let me see. Okay. All right, there's just a little more left in here, but I am going, you can see, there's just a tiny bit more. I'm not going to fool with freezing that. You can see my messy cabinet in here. I need to probably clean that out. Rinse this out real quick. And I think this should take care of it. gonna do it. Let's select some bits. Okay. Was super simple, and I'm gonna wipe my rings off, my lids, tops of my jars here. Wipe them off, and so again, I'm not too much worried with the type of lid I'm using because they're going to go into my refrigerator as soon as they cool, and then they'll all be used. So there you go. That was pretty simple, and this is a lot better for you than store-bought. Very minimal ingredients and very simple to do, and you can also make it however you want to make it. If you want to add different spices to it, you can. If you wanted to do this with beef and beef bones, you could, to make a beef broth. If you wanted to do it with vegetables, to make a vegetable stock, you could also do that. But it's so simple. If you have a crock pot, have minimal, you just literally have minimal time. You can dump it in there, put some water in there, let it cook, and it's ready to go. And you didn't really do very much, but you have a much better quality product than anything you would buy at the store. And if you have organic chicken, your own chicken that you've grown and butchered, even better. We don't have that, but if we did, that would make this literally perfect. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment box below. I appreciate if you would like and subscribe to my channel and like my video and share with anyone you know who may find this helpful. I hope you have a really great day, and thank you for being here.